Hey, what's up people? Hey, today we're back and it's been just over a year with the Surface Book 2. And today we're going to talk about why I chose this machine in the first place, how I use it each and every day, and some tips and tricks to help keep yours running just as good as mine is. So let's get to it. So last year I put out a video talking about how my original machine ended up getting the blue screen to death. I started out with a few issues here and there, and it just kind of progressively got worse. Luckily, the issues happened when they did because I did not purchase an extended warranty for the machine, and I literally only had a couple days left on the original warranty when I finally got it traded in. I did a little troubleshooting with their tech team and determined there was a hardware issue, and they replaced my machine no problem. So if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here, or just check it out in the comments after this video is over. So why did I pick up this machine over all the other machines on the market? Especially me doing my research, I knew that this machine didn't do any one thing especially well, except for perhaps the pen input, which I think all the Surface devices excel in that category. I mainly picked this machine up because I needed an all-in-one machine that did pretty much anything that I wanted to do, and it had to be portable. Now I know there are a lot of options out there that do all the things that the Surface Book 2 do, and probably do them better. You can buy laptops out there that play games better. You can buy laptops out there that are going to edit video better. But I'm going to come out, and you guys know this if you've seen my other videos, but I love the Surface lineup. I love the Microsoft Surface lineup. I've been a part of that family since the original Surface. I picked up the Surface Pro 3, and my natural progression was to go to the Surface Book when this came out. So when the Surface Book 2 was announced with a dedicated GPU, i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, all of the things that check off all the boxes, and it was in that form factor of a laptop, I thought to myself, hey, I can get rid of my desktop computer, which is aging. It's 5 years old now, and I can get rid of my I can gift my Surface Pro 3 to my wife, and that way I've got one machine taking up less space in our already cramped area here in the trailer, and it's gonna suit all my needs, hopefully. So that's what I did. So that's what I went for. So now what everybody is here for. How is it working? Is it worth the money? Are you happy with your purchase? And I can say without a doubt I am happy with my purchase of the Surface Book 2. Yeah, there were some bumps. I had to replace a machine. Even the replacement machine had some issues initially with the screen detaching and detecting the GPU. But with every single Microsoft update, I only noticed the machine getting better, more reliable, and just overall just working its best. But ever since the fall update, or the updates since September, I really haven't seen any issues with it. So I've been completely happy with the machine, realizing what it can do, and not expecting more than it can deliver. I've been super happy with it. So now let's break down the machine I have and what I use it for. I picked up the Surface Book 2. It's the 15-inch model. It's running Windows 10 on 1803. So that's funny. So when I was going to investigate the upgrades for this computer, I noticed that it hadn't upgraded to the fall update for whatever reason. I don't know if Microsoft was holding it back, but for whatever reason I checked, and just today when I was writing my notes for this video, I upgraded it to 1809. So up until today I've been running at 1803, running great. Upgraded to 1809. We'll see how it goes. I really don't think it's going to be an issue. It also has the Intel Core i7 18650 CPU with 16 gigs of RAM, the 512 gigabyte hard drive, and an expansion card slot. The SD card slot, I've got a 400 gigabyte SD card in there, and the NVIDIA GTX 1060 GPU. So now that we got the main computer specs out of the way, let's talk about what I use this machine for. Basically, I'm using it for playing video games and for video editing and photo editing. Some of the other tasks I do on a daily basis are going to be word processing, using Excel spreadsheets for my budget, programming my FPV quadcopter, web browsing, and just doing general computing tasks. So let's talk about gaming on the Surface Book 2. So basically I'm playing No Man's Sky. I've got a series on my channel where I'm playing this game, and the other game I play is Liftoff, which is a FPV simulator. No Man's Sky plays great. I'm playing it on moderate settings, and I do everything on the Surface Book 2. I'm playing the game, I am recording the game with OBS, and then I do a little bit of post-processing and Premiere to get it ready for YouTube. Yeah, I'm not playing at ultra settings, but I can live with that. I wasn't playing ultra settings on my previous computer, and I'm playing, you know, at 1080p to record so that I can put it on YouTube. Alright, so let's talk about video editing with the Surface Book 2. So I edit all my videos using Adobe Premiere. The No Man's Sky series, this video that you're watching now, everything that you see on my YouTube channel has been edited, I think, pretty much on this machine, except for maybe the first couple videos. So with that, it works great. I can edit 4K with proxies. I can edit my Mavic 2 Pro footage. Pretty much anything I've thrown at this machine. Long form edits. I've done things that are an hour plus, and it handles it without an issue. Where I ran into a problem though is when I picked up this ultra-wide monitor. It's connected via USB-C, and unfortunately the Surface Book 2 is not a Thunderbolt connection. So I'm guessing that the issue is the bandwidth through the USB-C port, and when I'm trying to run my timeline on that ultra-wide monitor to have the maximum real estate to see what I'm editing, it does get laggy. You guys can see it in the footage here. You can see the screen refresh, which is you know, it's disappointing. It really is, and I would have to say that is the Surface Book 2's biggest downfall, is not having that Thunderbolt 2 connection. So now let's take a look at the desk. As you can see, I've got it pretty clean. It is not always this clean. I cleaned it up especially for this video, obviously. We've got the Surface Book 2 right here front and center. For a secondary monitor, we're running the LG 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. I've got a USB-C dock, so how I've got that set up is USB-C comes out of my Surface Book into the LG monitor, and then it's USB 3.0 out of the monitor into the USB docking station. So everything's passing through the monitor. So all I have to do is plug in the one USB-C cable. My dock is there, everything is there, and it's real simple and clean that way. I'm running the Microsoft Ergonomic keyboard and mouse. I've got the Surface Dial and the Surface Pen, which are, you know, they're fantastic accessories, not necessary really. I've got the Surface headphones, which are fantastic noise canceling headphones. I'm really enjoying those. And I have an Xbox controller that I use for all my gaming, which works flawlessly with this version of the Surface because it has the protocol built into the machine to automatically connect to the controller, and I don't have to have any extra USB dongles, which is great. So now to address something that was an issue, a fairly big issue with the Surface Book, besides the machine's breaking or bricking or whatever, you blue screening, all the things, was the power issue with the battery draining while in use. Now I did test that out right away when I first got my Surface Book 2, my original Surface Book 2. And yes, if you stress the machine, if you're running it hard, if you're running everything max settings like playing a video game, you are going to drain the battery while it is plugged in. However, I have been using this machine for just over a year now, and I use it to play No Man's Sky for 1 to 3 hours in a sitting. On the settings, run OBS while I'm recording, all of these things, and it's never not once been an issue for me. Some of the other battery issues, I guess, well, not necessarily issues, but just comments on battery life in general with the machine. I rarely use the machine not plugged in. It's not because I don't trust it not plugged in, it's just I'm never in a situation where I have to use it solely on battery. The main experience I have is when I'll disconnect the clipboard portion of the Surface, take it over to the couch and use the pen and draw. And when I'm doing that, I get 1.5 to maybe 2 hours, while I'm drawing. But I am running it at the maximum settings and not sacrificing performance while I'm drawing just to get some extra battery life. So all in all, battery life on the machine is just fine for me. And to me, the battery drain issue, well, it's a non-issue. So in summary, I prepared several reasons why you will not want to buy the Surface Book 2. Yeah, I guess that sounds a little crazy coming from somebody who loves the Surface Book 2, but here are some top reasons why I don't think you should buy the Surface Book 2. One is if you are looking for a gaming PC, don't buy Surface Book 2. It's just, you're not going to be happy with it. If you're looking for something to game with, it's not going to do it for you. You can run things at higher settings, but you're not going to be running 4K resolution on ultra settings and just getting all the frames that anybody would ever want. And I don't do a whole lot of gaming, the Twitch gaming or the FPV shooters, so I have no idea how that works on there, but for what I use it for and the reasons that I bought it, I think it works great. Number 2, if you are looking for the best video editing machine out there, this machine's not for you. It just isn't. There are better machines out there with more RAM, more hard drive space at a lower price point. They have Thunderbolt USB-C attachment so you can run multiple monitors very easily, edit off external hard drives, all of these things. And number 3, if you're looking for a machine that works 100% of the time without fail and doesn't ever have an issue, then this machine, it's not going to be for you. With all the moving parts that the Surface Book 2 has, the detachable screen, the 2 GPUs with the onboard graphics in the screen, and then the dedicated GPU in the base, sometimes this machine takes a little bit of tinkering to make sure that it's working optimally, and that's just the way that it is. So if you're not into tinkering with your machine, this machine is not for you. Okay, so now a few positives, I think, reasons to buy this machine. Number 1 is because it's awesome. Just the form factor, the detachable clipboard, the pen input, just the entire package. I think it's a great all-around machine that does everything well, but nothing great, I guess is the best way to put it. Number 2 is the overall usefulness of the machine, being able to game, edit, remove the clipboard to do some drawing, you can pick up the clipboard and take it into another room and use it as a tablet without the heft of the 2-in-1 devices that fold over backwards and that kind of thing. I really enjoy that aspect of this machine. And the last thing, I guess, is kind of the opposite of the third recommendation of why not to buy one. If you enjoy tinkering with your PC, if you enjoy solving problems and just learning how the machine works and being able to solve any kind of issues that come up and just getting to know your machine, I enjoy doing those things. I love building PCs and tinkering with things. So for me, yeah, it can be frustrating when you need it to work right now. But for the most part, it does work right now, especially with the latest updates and everything. The last 6 months, it's been almost no issues. Alright, so let's get to the tips. These tips have helped my computer run great for the last year, and these are tips I've used not only for the Surface Book 2, but for every PC I've ever owned. So number one is refresh your computer operating system annually. I do it once a year. And the reason I do this is that number one, it keeps your system fresh, it gets rid of all the unwanted files, and it also helps you keep up to date on the OS and how it's operating, the install process, so these things stay fresh in your mind, and if you have issues, it's not crazy. It's not a crazy learning curve to try to accomplish fixing these issues with a computer refresh. If you do it once a year, it's done. You've got a brand new machine, it feels like, every single year, and it just works great. Number two, especially for the Surface Book 2, is go to the Microsoft website. You'll see I'm doing it here. You go to the website, you download the latest drivers. Go check these out every so often. Just make sure that you're running the absolute latest drivers so that your machine is running the way that Microsoft expects it to, because as you update the OS and operating system and add peripherals to your machine, the drivers change, they might get cluttered up, and that's why doing the annual refresh and using the latest drivers will help your machine just run its best. Number three, if you guys are using the machine and you're having any kind of issues, or not even having issues, Microsoft has a tool that helps you diagnose problems for your Surface devices. Not just the Surface Book 2, but any of the Surface devices. It's called the Microsoft Surface Diagnostic Tool. And you guys seeing it on the screen here. You download this tool, it will guide you through a series of steps to make sure that your machine is working correctly, the touchscreen is working correctly, all the things particular to the machine that you're on are working the best, and then it will generate a report at the end. If there are some issues, it will try to solve them for you, and if it's not solvable by those issues, it will help you get in touch with Microsoft support to try to address and hopefully solve those issues. So I definitely recommend getting the diagnostic tool from Microsoft. I'm going to link all of these things below, so check these out if you are having any kind of issues or just need them and would like to run them to see how they work. And number four, set performance priorities for your programs that are using the most resources from your computer. And you guys can see it here on the screen. You basically go into the settings in Windows, and you can locate certain programs within Windows and basically set them to perform their best while you are running that particular program. Basically prioritizes that program while you're running it, and it works great. I definitely notice a performance boost while editing in Premiere, and I believe I'm seeing a performance boost while I am playing my games as well. So definitely do that if you're having any issues, or if you aren't. It's just gonna help overall. And finally, this is a big one, especially for only having a 500 gigabyte hard drive with this Surface Book, is when you are editing in Premiere Pro, you have to find the common files folder, which you guys are seeing here on the screen. You go in here and clean this out, the media cache. You have to. It doesn't clear it out. There's a media cache within Premiere that you can clear. This is not clearing the folder that you're seeing on the screen now. You have to go in and clear this manually. So be sure you go in and clear this media cache every so often. Do yourself a favor, because it took me a while to figure out why is my hard drive constantly filling up, and this was why. You go clear it out, and all of a sudden you have gigs and gigs and gigs left over. Alright, so that's going to do it for my Surface Book 2 year in review video. I hope you guys got some value from this. If you did, hit that like button along with the subscribe button if you guys want to see more videos like this. And comment down below, are you guys having issues with your Surface Book 2 still? Or is your experience like mine, where I had some issues in the beginning, they've resolved themselves over time, and now the machine is running great? I really hope that's the case, because it's the case for me, and I am really enjoying using this machine. So with that, I'm going to call it here for today. I hope you guys come back and see some more videos. Go back and watch that blue screen of death video that I did. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Waiting for the cat. Now he's getting some water.